Everybody doing? I have you guys all muted. I get a thumbs up. Everybody feeling okay? Awesome. Okay, welcome to our first video chat of the Zoom group. It's awesome to see you guys all on here. We got 20 of us. So I'm going to tell you guys, this is the most we've ever had on a new coach video Zoom chat. So I want you guys to give yourselves a thumbs up for that. Let me mute that real quick. It wants to play again for us. But that's one of those ones I could listen to over and over. Okay, so anyhow, I just shared that video with you guys, that little audio. I'm going to try to talk as much as I can about personal development today. I'm kind of going to lay the foundation for you about this coach training group that we're going to be going through, the importance of showing up to it, what we have to offer you and teach you guys to help you guys achieve your goals. But I'm going to talk about personal development a lot so I can get that into your minds about how important it is. You've already heard me say personal development like 5 times. I'll try. I think my goal is going to be like 100 times so that you can understand how important that's going to be for your journey. The first thing I want to talk about is kind of, and I'm going to jump right into this so that we can get everything done within an hour. I have a goal to be done by 9 o'clock Eastern time, so you guys can get back to building your business or spending your time with your family, whatever time you have allotted to that. But first I want to show you guys the Coach Basics group, kind of give you guys a little bit of a look at that so that you can understand everything about what's in that group and how to take advantage of this month. So first, let me go to my Facebook and show you guys. Can you guys see my screen? If you can I get a thumbs up from a couple of you because I can only see? Okay, perfect. So here is over here, December Coach Basics. If you guys noticed, I want to make sure that you guys, if you haven't gone through this December Coach Basics group, if you click the Files tab right here, I uploaded a new coach checklist PDF. So I want to make sure that you go through the videos in there. For example, you saw me come immediately over here and find the December Coach Basics group without wasting a lot of time. I knew exactly where to get it. I teach you guys how to organize your groups to be more organized and more efficient on Facebook in one of those videos that's on that checklist. So I want to make sure that you guys go through that checklist and through those videos, as soon as you can. I would say try to get it done within the next week. Go through them at your own pace, but they're all there for you guys to go through. It looks like this right here. So it says check off as you accomplish each task. So I have one about setting your business hours and your schedule, about how to avoid distractions. I have a new coach webinar that kind of explains everything, like the whole big picture, all in one hour video of like what it means to be Emerald, everything about Beachbody coaching, like in 1 hour. There's also a video I made on the importance of your why, your reason for being a coach, and some sacrifices you might have to make depending on how big your goal is as a Beachbody coach. There's also 10 things I do every day video. It's like I do a video of my screen and I show you what I do, the 10 things I do every single day for my coach business. And then I have a video link for you guys to watch called The Easiest Way to Send Links. This one teaches you like specifically, so when someone asks you like for a challenge pack or they want to become a coach, it teaches you how to create the link so that you get the credit for that order and so that they become one of your customers or they become a part of your team. And then also I have right here for you guys to know exactly where I save all of our team recordings and extra trainings. So it's in my blog, but it's right here. You click the link and it shows you where they're all at. So for example, if you missed the call last night with Bonnie Engel, it was an amazing call. And one of the things she said on there is if you've listened to the last 5 calls of Monday night trainings, you have everything you basically need to know to build this business. So all of those calls are recorded and I place them in here. The next thing that I wanted you to know and do that's on that checklist, I wanted to emphasize this one right here. So this is called Coach Basics. I want to be honest, I used to call it the Coach Mastermind Group because the new Coach Mastermind Group, because we're going to do a lot of masterminding, role-playing, like telling your story, learning how to tell your story, role-playing, telling your story on these video chats. I mean, this week I'm going to kind of talk a lot and give you information, but the following weeks are going to be actually role-playing and sharing your story and practicing with each other. So I used to do Coach Basics like everybody else does it, which is put up a video every single day, like an assignment, and have you watch it. But I felt like I was always being a teacher and babysitting people, making sure they did their assignments. And I don't want to be a babysitter in this job. Like, I didn't become a coach to become a babysitter. I became a coach to teach people how to share their story with these products, with their personal development, to inspire other people to make changes. And so we're going to work on that. We're going to work on this entire month, getting solid in the 3 vital behaviors, creating those habits, those positive habits. As we create those positive habits, it's going to get rid of some of the bad or negative habits that we have, because we all have them. And so I have these videos here. I want you to make it your own personal goal to go through all 60 of those Coach Basics videos before December is over. And like, some of my videos get a little lengthy and I get a little windy because I get excited about things, but I pretty much made sure on every one of those videos to keep it under 3 minutes. So they're just small little 3-minute teachings of like 60 different parts of Beachbody and to help you grow your business. Like, what's the lead program? What's an Emerald Coach? What's Success Club? All of that stuff. So I want you to go through those videos at your own pace. I put them in order in this blog post and put them in order for you guys. So there is the checklist of the 15 things that I want you guys to do. And so I just wanted to show you where to access and find that in the group. That's right here under the Files tab. The next thing I wanted to show you in the group real quick is the 10 things to do. I just made the banner picture, the 10 things I do every day. So go through that. And if you want, like I said, if you want details on what those things mean, watch that one video in the checklist on the 10 things I do every day. It's a video of me talking about those things and showing you in my office. So I want to show you, though, if you click that banner picture, I'll click it for you again. If you click this banner in the group, let's say you're in the group like this, and you click this banner, the description of the picture, I put some details here as well, just some information. It says, need an answer quick, www.coachfaq.com. Also, you can always ask our team pages. We're a family and a team, so we want to work together. Here's that video again, 10 things I do daily in my business. Here's a blog post I put together because everybody asks me, like, how do I invite a coach, or what's it mean? Do I make someone a customer? Do I make somebody a coach? How do I do that? And so I made a blog post and I put some scripts as well as the videos that I personally share when I'm inviting somebody. So take some time, if you have that question, to go through those 2 blog posts, watch the videos, see what I'm saying to my customers and what I'm doing with them. Once again, here's the thing for those 60 Coach Basics videos. A reminder, so if you forget, you should write these things down, but if you forget what the link is for this call or for our Thursday night team call, it's right here. Team calls are Thursday nights at 9 o'clock Eastern, and this is the link. Notice this is also the link for this Tuesday night call. So let's do this right now. I want you to get your phone out. We're going to take action. We're not just going to listen today. And I want you to get to your calendar on your phone and mark Tuesday at 8 Mountain Time, whatever time it is right now for you, and set your alarm. So mine's already on here. New coach call Tuesdays at 8 o'clock Mountain Time. Repeats weekly. That's how I have mine. Repeats weekly. So I want you to set that on your phone. I also want you to put Thursday night. Go to Thursday, 7 o'clock Mountain Time. So that would be 8 Central, 9 Eastern, or 6 Pacific. And I want you to put Thursday, whichever time zone you're in. Put that in your calendar. And then, for example, then put weekly as well, because we'll have one every week. That's my promise to you guys, that we make sure you guys have a training called that Hop Onto Weekly as a team. Mine, I have it set for weekly as well. For example, I have on here Justin and Aaron. They're going to teach us Thursday. I have some guest speakers teaching about how to build blogs and how to drive traffic to a blog. So they own their own website service. They go to my church, so I invited them to teach us because that's what their profession. It's not my profession, so I want to get the professionals for you guys to teach these topics. So mark your calendar for that, and then also go to Monday night at 7 o'clock Mountain Time, so 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, 9 Eastern. and put Bombshell Dynasty call, or you could just put Lindsay's call. That's my coach, Lindsay Matway's team call. We're always welcome to hop on that one as well. And if you want I don't have in here the link for that one, but I wanted to make sure you guys know you're all a part of that team as well. So you're welcome to use that training. The link for that is I'll write it right here. So you can copy it from here when you put it into your notes or your Word document or whatever. Monday night call is 9 Eastern at www.instantpresenter.com / Bombshell 1. Okay, there's Lindsay's call, Monday night call, and it's in the group, so you can go copy it from the group. Instantpresenter.com / Bombshell 1. So that's what I wanted to show you about this group. Now I want to show you the next thing that we're doing in the group. So remember that every week we're going to be, let me mute something real quick. Every week we're going to be doing this video chat, right? We're going to be chatting Tuesday nights, and I'll give you the topics right now so you kind of know what to expect this month. Today I'm going over like expectations, laying the foundation for your success, setting what your goals should be, helping you set the goal for what you should have for your first month. But week 2, our topic is going to be how to share your story. And then week 3 is going to be role-playing your story. And I'm going to help you adjust it to make and teach you the importance of making an emotional connection with people when you tell your story. And then week 4 is going to be a little bit more of the role-playing question and answer, and then helping to plan January's team training groups, like a team challenge group, a team coach training group, a team clean eating group, and a clean coach sneak peek, which will all be tools for you guys to invite people to. So that's kind of going to be the schedule of what we'll do on these calls for the next 4 weeks. So I want you guys to make sure you know what we're doing on that. So what we're going to do, though, so that's our Tuesday night we're going to do. So every day, though, I want accountability from you guys. And so if you've noticed in this group, I've always put right here this exact same thing. What am I doing in my business that is working for me? I've been copying and pasting this every day. What am I doing in my business that's working for me? What am I doing in this business that's not working for me? What is my personal development takeaway? And did I teach it on social media or to somebody? Am I currently working on completing a full workout program, start to finish, and drinking Shakeology daily? Who are the 2 people you invited today? What did you invite them to? How did they respond? So if you guys notice, we basically cover the 3 vital behaviors here. And then I'm sneaking a little bit of mindset and making you guys think about what you're doing, what your activity is. So we're doing our personal development. We're doing our proof the products work right here. And then we're doing our invite. So I'm helping you guys create the daily habits, the simple daily habits. A lot of times you're going to want to overcomplicate this entire business, like Bonnie said on the call last night on the team call. But it's really quite simple, and it's staying focused on these activities every single day. So, and as your mentor, I guess you could say, in this group, I want to be able to help you guys adjust your approach, adjust your mindset when needed, adjust your approach with your invites, make sure that you're on track with your programs, drinking your Shakeology every single day, and doing your personal development. So that's why I want you guys to do this. And I want to show you guys something. I know you guys we haven't talked about this, so you didn't know what the expectation is. But we have 44 members in this group. I want you guys to know that we have 23 that came to the call. So I want you guys to know that that's pretty normal. When I said 23, we have more people we've ever had. I usually have 20 people in the group and 10 come. So we have 40 plus people in the group and 20 came. So we're about right on track with that. So I want you guys to recognize yourselves for being here, for taking your time out to be here, and make the commitment that you are still going to be here when we get to the end of December. And you're going to be the person that's here helping us plan next month and working on your business and your dream as a Beachbody coach, whatever that may be. And we're going to discover that more on these video chats throughout this month. So what we're going to do, so I showed you those numbers, 40 people in the group, 20 on the call. And 26 people saw this little post here, and we had 1, 2, 3 people share with us their accountability today. So I want that number to be at least 20. Every single one of you guys sharing your accountability. So the thing that I do, I just copy this every day. So I would like copy it on your computer somewhere so you don't have to type it out every time. And then every day when you check into your group, after you've done your activity for the day, your business, come in, paste it in there and then share with us your accountability. And the thing is, I'm going to do that as well for you guys so you guys can see that I have my own struggles and I'm doing my thing just like you guys are. I'm doing the exact same thing you guys are. So that's what I want you guys to do every single day. So I will do it. I'll put little reminders like I put right here tonight. Remember, we have a video chat, and then I'll put the copy and pasted thing. You'll see down here, yesterday I did a reminder. There's 2 opportunities for training today: National Wake Up Call, Bombshell Dynasty Team Call. So I'll always do a little reminder of something, and then I'll do the same exact thing right here where we're going to do that accountability, where you guys can come in and share with us what you're doing. So yesterday, I see we had 6, 7, 8. We had 9 of us yesterday do it. So awesome. So what I want you guys to do is realize that's what we're going to be doing this month. I'm going to have us, before I go into the next step, I'm going to have us listen to about another 3 minutes of personal development because I want you guys to see what it does for you and kind of begin to understand that. I'll put up a little video actually that you can see as well. So give me 1 second. I'm going to find it. Oh, that's not the one. Oh, well, you're not going to be able to see it, but I'm going to let you guys listen to it. So I'll get this share off so we can see each other's beautiful smiles, right? Everybody still with me? Thumbs up. Awesome. And my dad's on here. Now I'm nervous. I didn't even see my dad was on here. Okay. So we're going to listen to this. This is from a book called The Greatest Salesman in the World. I didn't read it for the longest time just because I don't like the word salesman too much, but in reality, we're salesmen. I mean, if you're a parent yourself, you got to sell your kids on things, right? So this book, though, is completely changing the way I'm doing some things and my mindset. A shout out to Garrett, my friend Garrett up here, and his wife Jamie. He's giving us the horns up there. He's listened to this book 3 times since I mentioned it last week. So 3 times. We're going to do what I'm going to lead into it real quick. It teaches you like 10 principles basically that'll completely change your life. And so we're going to listen to the first one. And I'm going to tell you guys my commitment level, and I'm going to see if you guys will be the one that help take this Team Dynasty, our team, and create this awesome habit of growth in 2016. So my goal is exactly what this book says. It says to read each one of these scrolls or these chapters 3 times a day when you wake up, after you eat lunch, and before you go to bed, and read the same chapter every single day 3 times for 30 days. And when you finish that chapter, the next month you do the same thing with the next chapter. And at the end of those 10 months, your life is going to completely, your mindset is going to be completely different because it's become a part of who you are. So I'm going to start this. Hopefully it's at the right spot. We'll see. And then I want you guys to listen, then we'll continue from there. Maybe. Give me 1 second. It doesn't want to play. Oh, here we go. Okay. Here, I'm going to pull it up on another one real quick. So, by the way, when I get a lot of my YouTube audios, I get them on, like I'm reading in the book right here, but I get a lot of them on YouTube. So I'm just going to look it up on YouTube. And this is me getting you started on your personal growth journey as well if you haven't started it. Okay, this is good right here. So I'm going to share the screen because this one actually,
So, big show tonight.
There's going to be a little ad at the beginning, but this one actually has the words you can read. So let me share my screen really quick so you can read it as well. Okay. Okay, can you guys see the screen? Okay.
Today I begin a new life. Today I shed my old skin, which hath too long suffered the bruises of failure and the wounds of mediocrity. Today I am born anew, and my birthplace is a vineyard where there is fruit for all. Today I will pluck grapes of wisdom from the tallest and fullest vines in the vineyard, for these were planted by the wisest of my profession, who have come before me generation upon generation. Today I will savor the taste of grapes from these vines, and verily I will swallow the seed of success buried in each, and new life will sprout within me. The career I have chosen is laden with opportunity, yet it is fraught with heartbreak and despair, and the bodies of those who have failed, were they piled one atop another, would cast its shadow down upon all the pyramids of the earth. Yet I will not fail, as the others, for in my hands I now hold the charts which will guide me through perilous waters to shores which only yesterday seemed but a dream. Failure no longer will be my payment for struggle. Just as nature made no provision for my body to tolerate pain, neither has it made any provision for my life to suffer failure. Failure, like pain, is alien to my life. In the past I accepted it as I accepted pain. Now I reject it, and I am prepared for wisdom and principles which will guide me out of the shadows into the sunlight of wealth, position, and happiness, far beyond my most extravagant dreams, until even the golden apples in the garden of Hesperides will seem no more than my just reward. Time teaches all things to he who lives forever, but I have not the luxury of eternity. Yet, within my allotted time, I must practice the art of patience, for nature acts never in haste. To create the olive, king of all trees, 100 years is required. An onion plant is old in 9 weeks. I have lived as an onion plant. It has not pleased me. Now I was to become the greatest of olive trees, and in truth, the greatest of salesmen. And how will this be accomplished? For I have neither the knowledge nor the experience to achieve greatness, and already I have stumbled in ignorance and fallen into pools of self-pity. The answer is simple. I will commence my journey unencumbered with either the weight of unnecessary knowledge or the handicap of meaningless experience. Nature already has supplied me with knowledge and instinct far greater than any beast in the forest, and the value of experience is overrated, usually by old men who nod wisely and speak stupidly. In truth, experience teaches thoroughly, yet her course of instruction devours men's years, so the value of her lessons diminishes with the time necessary to acquire her special wisdom. The end finds it wasted on dead men. Furthermore, experience is comparable to fashion. An action that proves successful today will be unworkable and impractical tomorrow. Only principles endure, and these I now possess, for the laws that will lead me to greatness are contained in the words of these scrolls. What they will teach me is more to prevent failure than to gain success. For what is success other than a state of mind? Which two among 1,000 wise men will define success in the same words? Yet failure is always described but one way. Failure is man's inability to reach his goals in life, whatever they may be. In truth, the only difference between those who have failed and those who have succeeded lies in the difference of their habits. Good habits are the key to all success. Bad habits are the unlocked door to failure. Thus, the first law I will obey, which precedeth all others, is, I will form good habits and become their slaves. As a child, I was slave to my impulses. Now I am slave to my habits, as are all grown men. I have surrendered my free will to the years of accumulated habits, and the past deeds of my life have already marked out a path which threatens to imprison my future. My actions are ruled by appetite, passion, prejudice, greed, love, fear, environment, habit. And the worst of these tyrants is habit. Therefore, if I must be a slave to habit, let me be a slave to good habits. My bad habits must be destroyed and new furrows prepared for good seed. I will form good habits and become their slave. And how will I accomplish this difficult feat? Through these scrolls it will be done, for each scroll contains a principle which will drive a bad habit from my life and replace it with one which will bring me closer to success. For it is another of nature's laws that only a habit can subdue another habit. So, in order for these written words to perform their chosen task, I must discipline myself with the first of my new habits, which is as follows. I will read each scroll for 30 days in this prescribed manner before I proceed to the next scroll. First, I will read the words in silence when I arise. Then, I will read the words in silence after I have partaken of my midday meal. Last, I will read the words again just before I retire at day's end. And most important, on this occasion, I will read the words aloud. On the next day, I will repeat this procedure, and I will continue in like manner for 30 days. Then, I will turn to the next scroll and repeat this procedure for another 30 days. I will continue in this manner until I have lived with each scroll for 30 days and my reading has become habit. And what will be accomplished with this habit? Herein lies the hidden secret of all man's accomplishments. As I repeat the words daily, they will soon become a part of my active mind. But more important, they will also seep into my other mind, that mysterious source which never sleeps, which creates my dreams and often makes me act in ways I do not comprehend. As the words of these scrolls are consumed by my mysterious mind, I will begin to awake each morning with a vitality I've never known before. My vigor will increase. My enthusiasm will rise. My desire to meet the world will overcome every fear I once knew at sunrise, and I will be happier than I ever believed it possible to be in this world of strife and sorrow. Eventually, I will find myself reacting to all situations which confront me as I was commanded in the scrolls to react. And soon, these actions and reactions will become easy to perform, for any act with practice becomes easy. Thus, a new and good habit is born, for when an act becomes easy through constant repetition, it becomes a pleasure to perform. And if it is a pleasure to perform, it is man's nature to perform it often. When I perform it often, it becomes a habit, and I become its slave. And since it is a good habit, this is my will. Today, I begin a new life, and I make a solemn oath to myself that nothing will retard my new life's growth. I will lose not a day from these readings, for that day cannot be retrieved, nor can I substitute another for it. I must not, I will not, break this habit of daily reading from these scrolls, and in truth, the few moments spent each day on this new habit are but a small price to pay for the happiness and success that will be mine. As I read and reread the words in the scrolls to follow, never will I allow the brevity of each scroll nor the simplicity of its words to cause me to treat the scroll's message lightly. Thousands of grapes are pressed to fill one jar with wine, and the grape skin and pulp are tossed to the birds. So it is with these grapes of wisdom from the ages. Much has been filtered and tossed to the wind. Only the pure truth lies distilled in the words to come. I will drink as instructed, and spill not a drop, and the seed of success I will swallow. Today, my old skin has become as dust. I will walk tall among men, and they will know me not. For today I am a new man with a new life.
Okay, let me get out of that real quick. Okay, pretty cool audio, huh? So I wanted to just share it because a lot of people ask about our success and the success of our coaches and friends that have built their business to the level that they want. And I share that video because I've read that chapter just today, so you guys can know 4 times. That was the 5th time by listening to it. And as I think back to my beginning of my journey, where you guys are at right now, you know, I was at work every day from 5:30 until 5 at night. And, you know, I didn't have a smartphone at the time or internet access at work, but I did have this little Nokia phone with a little SD card. And I remember downloading 3 books onto it. And it was Think and Grow Rich, The Slight Edge, and I think it was Failing Forward I had at one time. And then I had some other little MP3 audios from some other coaches like National Wake Up Calls. But I listened to those all day long, like 10, 12 hours a day for the entire year, you know? And so I wanted to just share that with you so you can kind of get a taste of what it is, because I know many of my coaches and even myself at times in the beginning, I just kind of skipped that and like, I'm okay. I'm like, I believe in myself pretty much. I'm just going to skip that stuff. But it's going to be vital. Like they're called the 3 vital behaviors for a reason. It's going to be a vital that you make personal growth your biggest, probably one of your biggest goals, because if you don't grow that aspect, you're not going to be able to stay consistent with your workouts, challenge yourself with your workouts, and all of the other aspects that you're going to be taught. One of the things that sticks out to me, even in that audio, just that little like 10-minute or less audio that we just listened to, it talks about like the principles and things that you learn today are not going to be valid, are not the principles, the things you learn today are not going to be valid tomorrow. So like what I want you guys to understand about that, because I've done this for so long, is too often you spend all the time training and trying to get everything perfect, and then you're going to start. And what happens with that is by the time you get all the current training and learn it and you start, it's already on to something different. Like that, it doesn't work anymore and we're on to something different. So it's important that you focus on learning the principles of success, the mindset of success, and then the rest of that stuff is going to follow. So that's basically what the scrolls are going to talk to you about. I know a lot of times, a lot of the questions are like, hey, I talked to my friend about this. What do I say next? Or my friend said this, how do I react? Or I invited someone to this group and this happened. Or I don't know what they might think or what they might say, or so-and-so said this. And one of the things, if you notice, it said if you study these, well, they call them the scrolls, but they're like 10 principles that they're going to teach. If you study them and you make it become a part of your mindset, you know, and it's talking about your subconscious mind when it says this, the mysterious mind. It becomes a habit, and it becomes something that you naturally learn. So these skills that you're going to learn in those scrolls, for example, or any of the personal development books, that's where your answer is to how do you react to so-and-so. There's not ever going to be a script for you that's going to be the perfect way to talk to a certain person or to overcome an objection. It's going to come from learning these principles. I mean, one of the principles, the whole scroll is talking about love. Like if someone, I don't remember exactly how it says it because I haven't read that scroll over and over and over. I just read through the book one time. But it talks about like if someone mocks at you or spits at you or whatever, you could call that your friends or your neighbors that are making fun of you for this new journey. It talks about how you show them love. Like you have this unbearable love for them that they'll feel, and eventually, you know, they'll sense that and they'll see that. So I want you guys to understand that. Don't wait for everything to be perfect to get started. And if you guys notice, I want you guys to then tie in what it was talking about, these simple daily good habits. As you create these good habits, it's going to push out bad habits that you may have. Notice in the Coach Basics group, I have you guys doing the exact same thing every single day, 3 simple things. And the reason is because we're going to start to create these habits. When you can create these 3 simple habits of the vital behaviors, you're going to be able to push out some of the old habits or the bad habits that you might have. So I'm going to ask, I do want to ask, not talk the whole time. I'm going to ask a couple of coaches on here and anybody that's shirtless. So it looks like Eric. So Eric, because you're shirtless, I'm going to ask you something. Eric, I'm going to ask you, I unmuted you already. What has been, and so you guys know Eric and his fiance, Dominique, they're diamond coaches. They went diamond in 6 days. They built their business to diamond coach in 6 days, which is the fastest on our team. So I'm asking him, this question because I know that he started his personal growth journey far before that. So, Eric, what do you think is key to you guys being able to start building the team that you've already built? What are some things that you've done so that we can take those habits that you've done and apply them into our life?
I would say single-handedly the biggest, most important, like no questions asked, is getting on the phone and talking to people. Like bottom line. And that was one of our biggest fears because Dominique, this is not Dominique, this is Kai. Sorry. But Dominique and I, we're introverted, and that's one of our biggest challenges, but we just knew that's what we had to do. And so actually I want to stretch on that. Kai just got started last week. He's been watching us do it the last 6 months. And finally his why became bigger than all the fears that he had. And Kai is about to go Emerald in a couple of days. And he's already scheduled like 5 or 6 calls this week. And that's just from him watching us. That's what we do. So, like right after he had his call today, that's what I said. That's single-handedly, that's going to move our business forward with all the posting, that we should be doing, everything else. Like, just got to get on the phone. You got to talk to people, figure out what their goals are, and then just decide to help them no matter what. So,
thanks, Steve.
Yeah.
So that's what he's teaching about. Eric and Kai are teaching about the invite process. Immediately when someone's interested or they're like, what's that coach thing you're doing? Or I saw something about, you posted a picture of like the 21-day fix or that PX90 thing, because everybody says that to me, the PX90. So if they ever ask that question, I immediately try to set up a phone conversation with them. Just to tag on to what Eric said, I go to this event every year, which is called GoPro. There's a book called GoPro, How to Become a Network Marketing Professional. And at that event, these are professionals that have done this type of business for 20 plus years. They said that the best producers in a business like this have just one, and talk about simple daily habits. They have one new conversation on the phone with a new prospect every day. That's it. All the rest is just bells and whistles in their business. But the main thing is building a list of people, like who's everybody in your neighborhood, at your church, friends you went to high school with, their friends. And if somebody tells who are their friends that might need help, always creating a list so you have people to reach out to and talk to. And they said that the top producers in any company in this type of profession do just one phone call a day. And I was thinking about that when I heard it. I was like, really, one call a day? And then I looked at my calendar, and my goal every day is to have 2 phone conversations a day with new prospects. And usually one of them bells or cancels on me. And so I have 1 a day. And that's even excluding Sunday, let's say. And we've built a team that became the number 4 team in the company by just doing that thing. By doing 1 new phone conversation a day. So just like Eric said right there, to go diamond, he went diamond in 6 days. They set phone appointments and got on the phone with absolutely everybody that they cared about, really. And they shared why this was something that they were super excited about and why they wanted to help somebody else be a part of it. And they made that invite for them to join their team. And I can guarantee you to say, we don't even really know exactly everything, but this is where we're going with this. This is why we're excited about this. This is what it means to us to work hard on our health and fitness and to create time freedom for us and for when we get married next April and we have our kids. We want to have time freedom. We don't want to be slaves to a job when we decide to have children. I guarantee you their phone conversations went something like that. And other people said, that sounds like something exciting to be a part of. Let us know more. And then he gave them the details or find out what they needed that might be similar in some way and invited them to join. So simple. It's a simple habit as well. So I'm going to ask somebody else on here. Garrett, you took your shirt off, so you're up. Garrett, what has been something that you've learned in the past 3 months about your journey that a new coach would need to hear? Maybe a mistake you made in a mindset or activity that you've learned that you can teach us.
The biggest thing, as a new coach is to not be overwhelmed, 1 step at a time. That's been the hardest thing for me is because I want to learn everything all at once and be perfect at everything before I try it. but I just signed my first coach yesterday, and it was like mistake after mistake. So just the biggest thing is to pay attention to what you're doing. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. But you just have to pay attention and listen to the team leaders that are here to teach you. Luckily, I had Scotty and I had Eric in there. They both helped me out through the mistakes that I made. And, you know, the biggest thing is to listen to your coaches, listen to your upline coaches. They're the ones that are going to teach you and guide you and give you all the information you need to make your business successful. It's not a hard business. You just have to want it.
There you go. And that ties kind of into what Eric said about Kai. His reason became stronger than some fears that he had. So you gotta really understand why. And that's going to be a lot of the focus that we're going to work on next week, on next Tuesday, is figuring out your why. I'm going to kind of give you an assignment though as we leave today, so you can start working on that. Garrett, like he signed his first coach. He accidentally signed him up as a customer. So then we had to figure out how to get them from a customer to a coach, and then it was on the wrong leg where we didn't want him up, on his left leg, but it went to the right leg. So it was like one thing after the other, but he asked for help. He got the answers that he needed. So I want you guys to know that that's what we're here for. I could be watching a TV show or doing something else, but I'm here because I don't want to just waste my time with you guys. I'm here because I want you guys to take into action what we're teaching you guys. So thanks, Garrett, for sharing that. And Garrett hit it on the head. You're going to feel like really overwhelmed, like there's just so much information, but let's stick to the basics and realize that it's like going to school for 4 years. It's going to take one day at a time. You do one semester at a time, and in that semester you do the 3, 4, 5 classes at a time in that semester. You don't think about the classes you're going to be taking in your 4th year. You don't even think about those at the time. You just do the steps you're at in that first semester. So think of yourself in school like that. And I related it to Garrett as like he's been an auto mechanic for like 15 years. I was like, think of when he told me he was frustrated a little bit about his business. I said, think about like a really hard thing to fix on a car that you're good at now. Now try imagine doing that the first day or the first month you're in auto mechanic school. It's impossible. It seems impossible to do. But he went to school, he learned, and when he didn't know, he asked somebody that knows. And I saw him, his transmission went out the other day. I saw him reaching out and asking some other people about if they've had issues with that and how they fixed it. So the same thing applies. Like think about how you figure out problems in life and apply it to Beachbody. Heck, all of us almost, except for a few of you, have kids. Like we didn't know how to raise kids before. And if you would have thought about how to get them from age 0 to when do they eat their solids versus just milk, to when do they start crawling, to when do I start doing all this stuff. And if you would have started thinking about what you do with them when they're 16, when they're just a brand new baby, it'd be over. You wouldn't know what to do. So just think of the baby steps. Do one step at a time, and just think about what's right in front of you right now, and take that action, take that step, which is those 3 vital behaviors. Do your workout, do your personal development, teach it to somebody, and then do your invites. Like reach out to somebody, find out what they need, connect with them with why you're doing this, and invite them to be a part of this with you. So my thing I always say to somebody is like, once I make a connection with them, and I'll role play this with you guys in the weeks to come, but my invite isn't like, would you like to become a Beachbody coach, or have you ever thought about being a coach? I say, I would love for you to be a part of this team with us. I would love for you to be a part of our family. So that's my invite on them being a coach. So, and I'll talk with you guys in the role playing on that. So one step at a time, let's keep it simple as we go forward. Next thing I want to talk to you guys about is I want to lay down, I call it laying down the law a little bit. I got to teach at Summit last year. Here's another note for you. Don't let it overwhelm you, but write this down. www.coachsummit2016.com. I want you guys to get on the wait list to be at Summit in Nashville. And just like everything else, you don't know how you're going to be able to get there yet. You don't know how you're going to be able to buy your plane ticket. But if you don't set the goal, you'll never take the actions to get there. So I want you guys to come to Coach Summit with us. We'll figure out the rest of the details later. But I want you guys to be at Coach Summit with us. But my question that I want to talk to you guys about today is I got to teach at Summit last year on how to create high-performance coaches. And the number one thing in my 1-hour presentation, which scared the bejeez out of me because there was 8,000 people in the room, was telling people that this business is hard from the beginning. Not saying like this is going to be easy, like easy peasy. People are going to just join you. You're going to build it. It's going to build a team, and you're going to live the life of your dreams with ease. It's not the case. It's going to be really hard, but it's going to be so worth it. And if you watch that sacrifice video and that checklist, you'll understand more deeply about my story and how I share it's worth it for you. But the question I want to ask, and I want to just get a nod, did you guys sign up as a Beachbody coach to build this business because you need another boss? No? Okay, good. I didn't either. You know, I love my boss and my other job, but I didn't need another boss. I wanted to create my own freedom. I wanted to be my own boss and CEO. And also, I don't want to be a babysitter to you guys. You know, our team has grown to the level it has been because I haven't taken like a babysitter type mentality in this. I've taken a mindset of being a business owner and mentoring and teaching other people to take that ownership in their own life. And that's why the team has grown to the level that it has, is because our coaches take that into their own life of, I'm going to own this business. I'm going to be the CEO of my own business. And that's the truth of the matter. You look at this like a franchise. Like, let's say you're going to get a Subway franchise or something. You know, you buy that franchise, except this is like very inexpensive compared to a franchise. And you can do it from anywhere in the world. You're not tied to a location and purchasing a building. So we have a ton of benefits over that. But if you buy that franchise from me, the franchise owner gives you a guide and says, here's everything to run this franchise. But your job is to get the open sign, like set your hours, turn the closed sign to open, you know, do the advertising, get people in through your door, and all of that stuff. So that's going to be the responsibility you have to take for your business. Are you guys okay with that type of responsibility? Thumbs up if you are. Okay, awesome. And I got 5 kids of my own, so I don't want to babysit anybody on this journey. And it's the fact of the matter is the minute in this business that you can become like independent, where you don't need me, is when you're going to be successful in this business. My goal in this business is to train you so well, give you all the tools that you can build an empire, build the biggest dream possible that you can think of in business, but also train you so well that you can do that and you can go off and do your own thing somewhere else, even outside of Beachbody, but you won't, because you know that we care about you. So to train you so well that you can do your own thing, you can go run a real business somewhere else. We want to teach you the mindset and the skills to do that, but treat you so well that you want to always be a part of this family with us. So does that sound like a pretty cool business to be in? Awesome. And just so you know, so you can take this mindset outside of this as well, I teach every Beachbody coach. I don't get on the like one-on-one chats like this with coaches outside our team, but I let them know all of my secrets. So if you ever want to know an answer, it's all out there on YouTube. And many of the other top coaches do that as well. So I believe that the more you give, the more you'll receive. So take that mindset as you start your journey. So now that we kind of have an expectation that, you know, you guys are going to own your business on this, I said I'm not going to give homework. I kind of did, though, in an aspect that I gave you 60 Coach Basics videos to watch, you know, over the course of the next 30 days. And, you know, realistically, the daily accountability is just like, you can do that accountability on your own. I don't have anybody holding me accountable to doing those things. I never have in the past 5 years. I held myself accountable to that because bringing my wife home was so important to me that I made that a discipline, because my coach Lindsay told me that if you hit Success Club every single month and trust the process, you will be able to bring your wife home. So I created those disciplines and did that. But having the group and having you comment in it daily, I think the important part of that is so that you stay connected with people that have the same ambitions and goals as you. The group is more of a place for you guys to come and stay connected with other ambitious people, because the people out there, we love them all, but they're going to be telling you this isn't possible for you. I see my dad on here. He never told me it wasn't possible for me, but I remember telling him I was going to leave my job, and he said, don't leave your job for that Facebook thing. So I didn't do a very good job helping him understand what we had as I was building this. But the people on the outside, unless you communicate with them what you have and what you're doing and where you're going with this, they won't understand it. So it's going to be important that you stay connected with these calls, with the group, with the team calls. I could tell you, I was talking to one of my diamond coaches today that was struggling a little bit with her mentality, with her mindset. She went to diamond, then she dropped her diamond. And the thing that was missing, I looked at her Facebook, she's doing her personal development every day. She's making some videos, she's doing her workouts, she's teaching her personal development, doing all these things I'm doing, but she no longer was connected to the team page, she was no longer checking into the team page and getting on the team calls. And so all I did was related, the time when I was least excited about this business, I've always done the activities, but the time when I was in a funk, I went through a funk, it was probably in a year and a half in, I just kind of didn't feel it anymore, but I was still doing the routine. I was doing the workouts, doing my personal development, posting in the groups, but it wasn't fun to me anymore. And I did that for 6 months. I was like, here we go again, another day. Number one, I wasn't realizing what I was grateful for, that I was now working from home versus at my job. But the thing that I noticed is I decided that I was going to tag team on to my coach Lindsay's team calls. So I'd always been on Lindsay's calls on Monday, but I started my own. I became a diamond in 93 days, and I wanted to start my own team calls. So I started doing my own team calls with my 1 or 2 coaches that would hop on. Then I grew to 5 and then 10. I was doing them, and then I was like, you know what? This is kind of taking up a lot of time. So we're just going to hop on Lindsay's team calls. So I stopped doing team calls. And then 6 months later, I'm like, this isn't fun anymore. But what happened is I stopped going to Lindsay's calls as well because I thought I knew it all. And now I wasn't doing my team calls. So I had no connection like what we have tonight or what you experience on team calls. I wasn't surrounding myself with anybody that was growing and challenging himself in the business. So I was spending my days giving myself, answering questions, inspiring people, helping them overcome their problems. And I wasn't getting my cup filled by coming to Lindsay's team calls or having my own team calls with my coaches where I could feed off of their energy. So can you guys take that as an experience of mine on when I didn't feel it as a clue for you guys to make sure that you always do whatever you can to get on these team calls, or at least listen to the recordings and then pretend you're on there live. Because I know some people's schedules, it's hard to get up and on those calls. So the next thing I want to talk about is real briefly is what your goal should be for month number 1 for the month of December. Your goal should be Success Club 5. So Success Club 5, basics of that, you get 2 Success Club points for every challenge pack. So it doesn't matter if it's a customer or a coach. A challenge pack is 2 Success Club points. So Success Club 5 is 3 challenge packs, whether they're coaches or customers. We look at Success Club, and if you don't know that, if you really, really want to get the hard, tough love of the importance of Success Club, listen to this past Monday night's team call with Bonnie. She's in our downline, one of our downline coaches. She talked about the importance of Success Club. She went from a week 2-star diamond to number 5 in the company in a 1-year time frame. And so she has some amazing things to share with you guys, but she really hits on Success Club. So watch that. But I want you guys to know when you see our recognition post, we talk about Success Club 5 as the 3 Lives Club, because I don't want you guys to ever think of people as points, because it's kind of set up like that, but it's Beachbody's way to set up a monthly goal that will bring success if you focus on hitting that goal every month. So like Garrett says, when it's overwhelming and there's a ton of stuff to focus on 3 vital behaviors with the end goal of Success Club. Get 3 people started on their journey. Connect with 3 people that have something, a pain in their life that they need to overcome, and give them the solution to overcome that with Team Beachbody. So Success Club 5 should be your goal for this month. And also Emerald. I want you guys to shoot for Emerald by December 31st. That means you sponsor 1 coach on your left and 1 coach on your right side. So Success Club and Emerald is going to be the goal, and the purpose end goal of this group is for us to together push and challenge each other to hit Success Club 5. So with that being said, I know we only have 4 minutes, but we're going to go a little bit over because I have a couple more things that I want to make sure that we know about. Your goal in this is, I want you guys to understand, I want you guys to write this down. We're really going to talk about this in week 2, but I want you to start thinking about it now and start to develop it now, so next week you're really prepared. So write this down. And this is basically how to tell your story. This is how I felt before Beachbody. Or if you're brand new to work Beachbody and maybe you got recruited and you just love health and fitness, or you wanted to work on your health and fitness and start a personal development journey and you don't have experience yet, it's what led you into that? So how did you feel before Beachbody? How do you feel now? Like, how's it changed your life now? Or another way you could word it is, what's different now than before in your life? And then why is it important to you to build this Team Beachbody business? Why is it important for you to help other people go through what you're going through or experience what you've experienced so far? So that's going to be the basics of how to tell your story. And we're going to really work on it next week. But what I want you to add in there, and I'm giving you I want you to start working on it so we don't wait until week 3 to get into it. I want you to figure out how to make an emotional connection in that story. So basically, I'll give you mine really quick, as not in a role playing, but I'll just say it. And I want you guys to listen for where the emotional connection could be. And then I'm going to ask one of you guys if you heard it. So mine would be, let's say I'm talking to my buddy. I'd be, hey, he asked me about it. I have a conversation. I don't just blast this out. We have a real conversation. And then the opportunity comes where I get to share how it changed my life. So I would say, hey, it's really crazy, but my neighbor, he came over, he knocked on my door, and he had this plate of brownies. And so, I let him in, and he actually happened to be from my church. And the thing is he was really super fit. And I asked him, I was like, dude, how are you so fit and strong? Like, I've always wanted to get in shape like that. What do you do? And he told me that he trained the special team on the high school football team. He was like the special teams coach and also the weight training coach for those football players. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. I've always wanted to get in shape. Like, do you have any tips for me? And he said, you can just come work out with us in the gym. Like, I train the guys in the morning, the football players in the morning at 6. You can come work out with us. I'll show you the routines we do. You can work out with us. And, unfortunately, because I went to work at 5:30 in the morning, that wasn't an option. I couldn't go with him to the gym. So I asked the next question, do you know anything I could do at home? And he just said, you should try that P90X thing. And so I did P90X. I got P90X, and I went from 187 pounds to 145 pounds in 90 days. I committed to it 100%. And I got abs for the first time in my life. And the cool thing is, I felt really proud of myself. I hadn't really worked on myself for a long time. I was so busy at work. It just felt good to do that for myself. I felt more energy. It got me to stop drinking 2 Rockstar energy drinks every single morning. And the thing is that people started asking me about it. They're like, dude, what are you doing to get in shape? I see that you lost weight. I see you have more energy. You're more excited about life. And so these people started asking me, and I fell in love with telling them I'm doing P90X. I'm doing this workout called P90X. Have you heard about it? And so they would ask me about it, and then they would start doing it. And it was the best feeling in the world for me to help these guys and these girls get started on their health and fitness journey. I craved seeing messages from them that they lost 2 pounds, or they were able to tighten their belt another notch. And the crazy thing about it is I've always struggled with self-esteem my whole life. And so the thing is I found that as I was helping other people, I felt better about myself, and I started to see a lot of self-worth, and I overcame a lot of those self-esteem issues that I was facing before. And I've become this super confident person that I wasn't before. But the even cooler thing about that is that I found out through my coach that, she was struggling with, she was a mom. She had her daughter London prematurely, and she ended up with $200,000 of hospital debt from the birth of her daughter London. And it got me thinking about how hard it was for me to pay my mortgage. And, as I thought about that, I thought about the times at night when I couldn't sleep because I was wondering how I could ever get rid of that or make it easier to pay that, or not have to work so hard and barely get the money in my paycheck 2 days before my mortgage was due. And so I connected what she was doing when she told me she was paying off that debt by helping people like me, like she was helping me. I realized that if she was doing that, I could take my passion that I had already gained for helping people, and I could help other people, that I could help them lose this weight, but also at the same time, I would not have to worry about bills like that anymore. And I would bring my wife home from work. Like the bills were so bad that my wife had to work for us to be able to pay all the bills. So, I'm going to help everybody that I possibly can so I can bring my wife home from work. So, okay, you guys see that's my invite. And that was my invite in the beginning. Like, I had no success saying I brought her home. I talked about how I was going to bring her home. And I want you guys to know that still 5 years later, I'm still telling that same story. I don't talk about all the other stuff. I mean, when I hit a goal, I'll talk about it like on a YouTube video and all those things, but I still tell that exact same story. When I meet a new prospect tomorrow and I have the chance to share my story, I'm telling that exact same story, except I am saying now that I was able to bring her home and then shortly after bring myself home. But it ends there. There's nothing beyond that as far as they know when I'm sharing my story with them. So I'm going to ask you guys a question, but the reason we're going to work so much on your story in this group, your personal development and your story, is that's what makes us team different. We'll call it the long lost art in Beachbody coaching is the magic of telling your story and teaching your team to tell their story. All the training and stuff, that's good. It's going to help you attract new people in the future. But the magic of this is telling your story and being proud of it, like being proud of everything you've been through and the struggles you've had and how you're going to overcome it. There's a power in that. So I want you to think about that. The power of this company, of Beachbody, is telling your story and teaching a team culture in your team of telling your story. So, okay, so what I want to ask you guys, I want to ask somebody on here so you guys can think about it as you develop your own story over the next week and start to develop that. I'm going to ask Matt Barclay. Matt, I unmuted you. So there was a story in there. I lost weight. I feel better. I have abs. Even there's the goal. I'm going to bring my wife home. That's the like base. That's the story if you just did it real quick. Like, here I was before. I didn't feel good. Now I feel great. Number 3, I'm going to bring my wife home. I'm going to work as hard as I can so I can bring my wife home. What were the little things I added in there that made the emotional connection?
I'd say the part about not knowing how you're going to pay your bills, where you're going to, just to pay for whatever. But the biggest part for me was just where you're going to get your money from to pay the bills, and then being there for the family, having your wife home with the kids and you. Absolutely.
So I'm going to ask you a question. We're going to do. And is it okay if we go over just a little bit? Thumbs up. Thumbs down, you can leave. No, just kidding. We're going to make this fun. Beachbody coaching is fun. Don't overthink it. So, Matt, when I started talking about my struggle with bills, what did you think about in your own life? I want you to be open with us. What thoughts crossed your mind?
The exact same thing. Living paycheck to paycheck, figuring out how we're going to pay everything every month, the credit card debt we've got. We're stuck in a tiny little 2-bedroom condo with 4 of us, just trying to make it get by each month. And then we want to upgrade into a bigger house, but this is where we're at right now.
Absolutely. So Matt is one of I know we have coaches, my PS coaches, and then some of our downline coaches in this group, which is awesome because you guys don't have to be afraid to recruit coaches to your team because I'll help you teach and train them in the beginning. So recognize that right now. When you go to Emerald in December, realize that we can train them in January together. So what Matt said, the power of your story is when you share your struggles immediately. That's why what Eric said about getting on the phone is so important. If you can't really portray that on a message. You can get someone interested in text or on Facebook messaging, but to make that connection, you really got to talk to them on the phone and be like, I don't know if you ever felt like this, but I felt like, and kind of make that connection with them. Who else? Raise your hand if when I talked about self-esteem, you're like, hey, I struggled with some of that. I need to improve that. Raise your hand if you've had some of that. Okay, awesome. So the thing is when you can embrace your story and learn to tell your story good, that's when you're going to make the connection with people. Now, even if let's say I'm recruiting Matt and I got on the phone, what I would do, so you guys understand, I didn't plan on teaching you guys an invite process, but I want you guys to kind of get the idea so we can start this with your invite you're doing daily. Let's say when I get with Matt, and I get his interest. I'm going to get him on the phone, and I'm not even going to pitch Beachbody at him at all. I'm going to talk to him about it. I'm going to find out about his kids. I'm going to find out he lives in an apartment. I'm going to find out he's struggling with his bills. And everybody does, believe it or not. And if they don't struggle with their bills, they work too many hours, or they travel too much, or they're overwhelmed and they hate their job. Everybody that I don't think I've ever experienced one person, if you ask enough questions, that doesn't struggle somehow with finances. Whether it's, they may live a good life financially, but if they do, they most likely, from every conversation I've ever had, hate their job, work too much, travel too much, work too much overtime. So if you ask enough questions and genuinely care to find that out about them, they're going to open up and tell you. But it's first, for them to do that, you have to open up about yourself. So the way I do that is, before, I wouldn't just rip through that invite like I showed you. I just showed you the basics of it. In between it, we're going back and forth. I'm asking questions, and I say, hey, I don't know, I felt like that too. So the way I would do it to Matt, when I'm on the phone with him, when he's talking about, I'd ask him about his life, where he's at. I would ask a hard question like, Matt, being the age you're at, the kids you have, the job you have, did you expect to be in life where you're at right now? Like when you were 18 and you had dreams for your life, are you currently where you thought you would be? I would start asking questions like that, and he's going to tell me, nah, not really. And I would tell him the same. I would relate with mine and tell him, I thought I was going to be, a dental lab technician making a great salary here in Idaho Falls, and I ended up sweeping floors in a factory, and I was working 12, 15 hours a day. So I'm going to relate with him and tell him, so that he's comfortable telling me about his struggle, I'm going to tell him mine. Like I'm going to talk about mine. So it's going to be the question, the phrase I use leading into it always is like, I don't know if you ever felt like this, but this is how I felt. And just being able to do that, you're going to be able to make that connection with them. And that's the missing piece on connecting with somebody and getting people to join your team. When you can share that and connect with them on that level, you see how it's different. Like if you just went through, hey, I lost 30 pounds, I fell in love with helping people. And I found out, even if you said, I'm going to build this amazing team of passionate people that are helping people, have you ever thought about being a coach? It's not really compelling to them because they can't relate to that at all right now. So that's when at that point, like if I talk to Matt in that aspect and I'm sharing those things and I connect with him on that level and I'm like, I'm the same way, Matt, you're in that apartment, you want to get into a bigger home to raise your family, and a better job with less hours. I felt like that too. When I was living in Salt Lake, I was living in the basement in my wife's brother's basement. And, I was working at a job where I was not appreciated by my boss. And I actually ended up just leaving because I ended up doing all the work there. I know how that feels. And the cool thing is Beachbody was the answer to that prayer that I was always praying. Like there's got to be something out there better for me where I can apply myself, my skills, my hard work. And, I can sense that in you, Matt. I can sense you're a good man. You care about your family. I can relate with you on that level. I want you to be a part of this family with us. I want you to be a part of this personal growth journey. I want you to be as healthy as you can, that example to your kids. And I want you to get that house that you want, that bigger house to raise your family in. It's going to take a lot of work and a lot of growth, but I'm in it for the long haul. I want you to be a part of that with me. Would you be open to, learning how Beachbody works? So you see how does that invite sound a little more powerful than what you might have been thinking an invite was? Okay, so I want you guys to work. Our assignment this week is to show up every day with your vital behaviors. Remember, simple daily actions. Those daily vital behaviors, those good actions you're taking are going to start replacing some of the bad habits that you may have in your life right now, like watching too much TV or not waking up on time or sleeping through the alarm. Getting in these habits are going to help get rid of some of those habits. And by doing that, that's the goal this month, is that we start this personal growth journey, get those habits, find your first 2 team members, people that are like you, that you can connect with, that you want to be a part of this long time journey with you. And then just trust that we have tools in place to help you guys as we move forward. There's 2 things I want you to look at as we go away from this. First, I want you guys to write out your story so we can practice it next week. Write out your story, answering those questions. This is how I felt before. This is how I feel now. This is why I'm a coach. Add your emotional connection to that. And then the assignment that I want you guys to do is start working on setting appointments, like getting appointments where you can talk to people, get to know what they need, share your message with them. It's never going to be perfect. Like it's going to suck your first few times, but that's how everything is in life. So don't be afraid of that. Know that that's going to happen. Start making your invites, and let's find your first challengers, your first people to join you as a customer or a coach, to hit Success Club 5 and hit your goal of Emerald. And what I want you guys to know, I'm going to show you as we leave this call, is we have set up for you guys. I'm going to find it right here on Facebook. I'll post this calendar. It's in my personally sponsored coach group. So those that aren't personally sponsored coaches, I will take this calendar and post it into the Coach Basics group for you. We have a calendar. So, for example, we have a team challenge group starting next Monday you can invite people to. The week after is Christmas. And notice I have how are you doing with Success Club here at the end of each week. Remind yourself, remember, you got to hold yourself accountable to your goals. And then December 27th, we're going to start a coach sneak peek group. So the goal is you guys connect with people, tell people you want them to be a part of this journey with you. And we're going to run a coach sneak peek group for you guys the last week of this month, where we're going to give them all the information. We're going to overcome all their objections. And there's going to be a ton of power in that. One testimony of that real quick is my dad is on here. I know my dad was talking with his coach. My dad went Emerald. His new coach was Amy Contreras. He'd been talking to Amy at his job before for a year about Beachbody, gave her samples, talked about using Shakeology, becoming a coach for a year. And then him and I invited her into the Coach Sneak Peek group, and she joined as a coach right after the group was done. And now Amy is here on the call with us, and she's crushing it on all the training, asking questions, and she's here tonight. So that's going to be the power of doing that, of inviting your people to these groups where we can help you talk to them. But the part is you guys sharing your story with them, your message and why you're doing this will get them open enough to come to that group and learn about what it is, to be educated about what we have as Beachbody coaches. So you guys down with that? Does that help you guys a little bit know where we're going to start moving this month? Okay. All right. Well, I have a little movie date with my wife, Gabby, so I've got to get off. But I will see you guys tomorrow in the team page with daily accountability. I'll post that up in the morning. I just want you guys to know that I'm proud of you guys for being on this call. I know time is our biggest asset, and you guys gave me an hour and 15 minutes tonight. So hour and 15 minutes you can't get back, but I can tell you it's well invested. So we love you guys, and we're excited about seeing you guys grow with us. Okay, we'll see ya.